All right. And we are live. Welcome to paraglidingtalk.com. I'm your host, Robert Michaels. Glad that you're here. We've got a great show lined out for tonight. We've got Ron Toran with us from Lone Star Paramotor. LoneStarParamotor.com is the website. I know you guys have heard about this before because he's one of our sponsors and one of the longest running sponsors of the show. I thought it would be necessary that we have him on the show and talk about some of his recent adventures. I caught a couple pictures of him flying in some very unique places, and I was super stoked to find out that he's been doing some free flying, and also just wanted to get caught up on how things are going at his school down there in Texas. Before we dive into this show, I want to mention thank you for all the Patreon supporters and everybody who's been a part of the show for over the years. And if you're in the chat, so glad that you're here. Really appreciate you jumping on and coming to hang out with us every week. For the price of a cup of coffee, you can support the show every month, and you can find that you're going to learn something, or maybe you're going to help someone else to learn something that might keep them safe and flying in the sport for the long haul. Thank you for those Patreon supporters, and thank you guys for who have been super chatters and been just a part of the show and supporting in any way that you have. So appreciate you guys. Want to mention a couple of the sponsors. One of those is PPG Smoke. PPGsmoke.com is the website that you're going to want to check out. They've got Lamel's chase cams, Unity headsets. They've got the Unifloat. They've got some unique strobe systems now, lightweight strobe systems, and it's ever evolving. And obviously they still have the smoke system. That's pretty cool and unique. So go check out their website. PPGsmoke.com is the website. Also want to mention paramotorprops.com. Paramotorprops.com is the website where you're going to need to get some good deals on props. They have a great website, great group of people, and want to just encourage you to go check them out if you accidentally blow up a prop. It's paramotorprops.com. And one last sponsor I want to mention is if you're in the San Diego area and you have need of plumbing, you need some plumbing stuff done, they're American Allied Drains and Plumbing. They're your company. If you mention Paragliding Talk to them, in the transaction process, they will give you 10% off of the services there. So go check out their website at American Allied Drains and Plumbing. If you just put that into Google, and then also you can reach them by phone 844-777-9055.
There is one more.
Oh, is there? John Wayne just donated $10 as a super chat. Right out of the gate.
So the other one that's going to get plenty of advertisement is Lone Star Paramotor.
That's right, LoneStarParamotor.com. Ron's like, what did I get myself into tonight?
A bunch of rookies.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here. By the way, Ron, thank you for jumping on. We do want to just extend our appreciation for what you've done. Your sponsorship has bought all kinds of people different things. Who knows how many? You were on episode 117 years ago, and you've just never missed a beat. You've had a school that's got a great reputation everywhere. If I talk to people, you know about Lone Star Paramotor. Oh yeah, they're great, they're incredible. You've got just a good thing going. Great attitude every time. So a little background about Ron. If you want to go find out some cool history, go back to episode 117 on paraglidingtalk.com, and you can find out some interesting stuff. But just kind of quick recap. He was a school teacher for like 25 years, teaching second grade. Also has some interesting fame out there. He got nominated to be or was on the ballot for a presidential election a couple times, where people wrote him in, and not just a few. So pretty interesting, that potential presidential type of guy. And that's unique and pretty cool. I think it's great. I've never been written in. So that's pretty neat. And then there's some other things, and we'll get into those in the show. Ron, first I want to say thanks for coming on. Let's talk a little bit about the school, how things are going, and maybe share some recent stories.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. Appreciate being on. It has been a while. But and also thank you for everyone who's tuning in now at home and over the next few days as well. Everything's going well. We train about 75 pilots a year and have been doing that for about the past 5 years or so. And we teach foot launch and trike. We teach transition from foot launch to trike. We also teach some advanced courses, also some confidence builder courses, folks who haven't been in the air for a while. And we also do a lot of retraining of other schools who may be down on the Texas coast with us.
I like Texas. It seems like a cool place. Did you happen to go with the guys? There was a fly-in down there in Texas. Kyle O'Glee came on the show and he talked about it. Were you a part of that?
Was not a part of that. That may have been one of the times that I was traveling over the past year or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a little teaser for if you didn't catch it. That's he's got a pretty cool adventure he's going to share with us. So talk about why your school. Why do you think what makes you, and I'll just say it like this. I don't think that every school is worthy of being a school. What makes you stand out, and why do people speak so highly of your school?
Yeah. First and foremost, it's a school. And it's a school because I was a teacher for 25 years. So our students have homework. They've got reading assignments. We've got quizzes. What some others offer is more of a show and tell. You know, this is how you fly. Let me demonstrate it and go ahead and do it. So I think we focus more on ground school and more on just every aspect of flying, and we weave it into the US PPA curriculum.
What would you say that you've got perfectly clean track record for training and students?
Perfectly clean?
Yeah, I'll give you an example.
Students get dirty; they fall down all the time.
Yeah. We've got some people that have been on the show even that have had incidences and had situations and questionable circumstances. I don't think that's your case, but in case there was someone that had something to say, would they have anything bad to say?
I don't think so. I mean, we've had minor injuries. Broken ankle, I don't think is a minor injury, but I don't think you're going to find anyone out there who's got bad things to say about Lone Star Paramotor. And one of the reasons for that is the instructors that we have. I'm blessed to work with some incredible people. Travis Landry has been with me since I think 2018. Rain Vela has been with us for the last year or so. The list goes on and on. So I'm blessed to have fine folks that work with me.
Rain's been really stepping up her game with Instagram. I like her short videos and things that she brings to the table. She's got a great thing going. I don't know how much you're involved with that.
She does have a great thing going, and I just let her do her thing. And I just thank her later in the day. Hey, just saw what you did there. Fantastic job. So she's fantastic. She's, besides doing all of the social media, she's a qualified and certified instructor. So she's terrific. Travis Landry is awesome. He's my number one guy. Tommy Roberts, Mark George from Paris Swag. And there are others as well. So Cody Smith, Emil, I'm blessed to have about 9 instructors who work with me.
Wow.
Given, I
didn't know that.
Yeah, a lot of them have other jobs, full-time jobs. They take off 10 days a month to come and work a class with Lone Star Paramotor.
No
So,
kidding. That is
yeah.
awesome. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
so I'm now instructor administrator. So our school is now instructor academy as well. So we teach about 75 pilots a year, and we teach about 10 to 12 instructors a year as well. So
No kidding. I didn't know you guys were doing that. Was that something that was happening 2 years ago or 3 years ago when you were on the show in episode 117?
no, it wasn't. The year before, not this last endless foot drag, but the one before that, I helped put on one of the instructor in tandem clinics that Chad Bastian was running, and I earned my administrative certification then.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Chad helped me to get some things going for myself for free flight.
Yeah.
He's a great resource.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of good instructors have come out of Lone Star and will as well.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
One of the things I've asked some of our guests in the past, different instructors, I always ask the question, hey, you got anybody famous that came out of your school? And it's interesting to hear who came from what school and what they were a part of. Yeah.
So Anthony Vella was pilot number 22 for Lone
Oh,
Star.
no kidding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. In fact, he was the first resurgence candidate that we trained.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah. Alexis Quintana.
Yeah.
She came to us as a pilot, stayed as an instructor for a couple of years as well. Chris Simmons is active online. Pterodactyl Paramotor. Both he and his partner Blake Hibbett were also pilots for going through Lone Star's program.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Alexis actually, she ended up working with you guys for a while, and I think I would correspond with her in certain situations when we were setting up sponsorship and whatnot. So that's cool. Yeah, she's famous in my world.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about your and by the way, everybody's kind of like, hey, we're over the whole training stuff. Let's get into the nitty gritty of what you're doing and what you're seeing in the training world. What would you say you can kind of put your finger on? What is the most important thing that guys need to be doing? We have a lot of people that come in here to watch the show and they're looking for a golden nugget to be like, oh, I needed that. Okay. Do you have something that you're kind of seeing on a regular basis that you're like, man, I wish people wouldn't do that, or I wish people would do this or that? What would you say is a big glaring thing that you would like to see?
Yeah, we teach a 10-day class, and in those 10 days, 10 days in a row, and in those 10 days, the students go through a roller coaster of emotions. And probably the biggest thing I see is frustration, particularly from some of the dudes out there, guys who have big egos and who are used to being good at whatever they try, right? And I guess a nugget would be to put your ego aside and understand that this is likely to be one of the most challenging things that people ever try to learn, and there's going to be failure, right? So to not to let it get you down. And to persevere.
That's a good one for sure. You're not going to find a lasting wild man. And you can argue there's different sports where you can get away with a lot of things. This is not the sport that you try to get away with stuff.
No,
sure.
It's not. And for us, safety is number one. We're always best to err on the side of safety. And some of the things that we've been doing with, particularly with the trike training, is focused around making trike training safer for the students.
What do you think is more dangerous? And I'm going to ask you of three what do you think's more dangerous? And we're going to go to the chat with a poll right after this. What do you think's most dangerous out of the three? Foot launch, trike, or quad? We're talking launch characteristics and
Yeah.
the
So, for foot
Good
launch, it's
question.
all about the last 5 seconds. You get everything, you get the wing above your head, you're right into the wind, go to full throttle, lean back, and stay on your feet for 5 more seconds. With a quad or a trike, the first 5 seconds is key. If you don't know where that wing is, 5 seconds into the inflation, you could already be rolling over. So I think probably the trike would be the most challenging, followed by maybe foot launch and then quad.
And then quad. Okay, let's see
Yeah.
what the people say. I'm going to drop it in the chat right now.
Yeah.
So, in your experience, what's the most frustrating to teach?
Yeah, that's a great question. Neither really. I mean, it's going to be frustrating to teach people anything. Just had a kite, right? It's no more or less frustrating. It's a little more labor intensive to teach triking. Usually we can have 2 instructors per student when we're teaching foot launch. When we're teaching triking, the first couple of days, it's 2 instructors per student. So it's more time intensive, labor intensive for at least the first couple of days.
And do you have a preference in what you fly, or are you a pretty much foot launch person? What's your go-to?
Yeah, my go-to is foot launch. I just turned 60, so my landing gear is not getting any younger.
Yeah.
And on a windless day, I may jump on a trike instead. I fly both, and I enjoy flying both. Also, just started flying since I was on your show last. I started flying fixed wing ultralights.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and then most recently dipping my foot into free flying.
We're going to talk about the free flying. I'm really interested to your takeaways, especially from your history of flying with motors. Talk a little bit about your ultralight. What are you flying out there?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of things that I fly. I've got an Aerolite 103
Okay.
that I fly. I've also got a Quicksilver GT 400.
Okay.
Single seater that I fly. I had an air bike recently, but on a landing, one of the gear legs collapsed, and that's no longer flyable.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I also had a Hummel Ultra Cruiser that unfortunately engine quit mid-flight and had to emergency land in a field. Landing was fine, except it was hay. It was about 5 foot tall hay stalks, and it got caught in the brakes and plane flipped over.
Oh, no.
Crushed the plane. So at the moment, I'm flying the Aerolite 103 and the GT 400.
How did you get that thing out of the field?
Yeah. Actually, a couple days later, the Martin family, high five, just drive up and out of nowhere, and they're staying at an RV park right next to Kitty Hawk Airport where we operate. And they were there on vacation. They saw paramotors. They came over. They didn't know it was me. And I used a couple of the boys to go and put it on a flatbed and truck it out of the field.
No kidding. So you obviously had to take the wings off to fit it through the certain places, and
yeah.
And how much damage is it? Wasted, or are you going to revive it? No kidding.
The engine's okay, but it's an all metal ultralight, and took a lot of damage when it flipped over. So it would cost me about the same to buy a new one as to rebuild this one. So,
and you weren't hurt?
No, it wasn't hurt.
So what do you attribute the engine out to?
It was a rear seal had blown in flight, and smoke got in the cockpit, and then oil splattered on the windscreen, and then the engine just cut out.
Oh my gosh, that's like the nightmare situation.
I know. I'm sitting there going, it looks like a little P-51 Mustang. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm in a World War II movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's game over.
Did you land blind?
No, my hand was actually outside of the cockpit windscreen. Yes. So I didn't land blind, but unfortunate that the hay was so tall that it flipped the plane over.
So my dog is choking in the chat. He said, ask Ron how many ultralights he's crashed.
That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
That's Chris Wheeler, by the way.
Yeah, I know Chris.
From Paraswag. Yeah. In fact, yeah. How many?
Yeah.
2.
No, oh, there's another one.
Well,
too many.
I didn't crash the. He's talking about the
landing gear.
air bike where the landing gear collapsed, and the Hummel that flipped over. So,
oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Those are the only 2.
Yeah, he's only crashed two planes, guys.
That's it.
There's people that have crashed way more. Oh, it's so awesome. You must be absolutely obsessed with flying, like almost every person who watches this show.
Yep.
And we talk often about the different things that we tried before we got into flying. Some people take mountain bikes, and then what do? They go find the biggest jump you can find to see how high you can get, how far you can fly, or it's a skateboard with ramps, and it's all about flying. Did you have any sports that you did before paramotoring that were close to airworthiness?
No extreme sports really. I've been wanting to fly since I was a kid. I started, on RC model airplanes when I was a teenager, and then had an after school club called the Fly Boys and Fly Girls, teaching RC stuff. So,
that's cool.
Yeah. So for me, I just love flying. Paramotors, paragliders, ultralights. Just a different way to defy gravity.
Yeah. Lots of people in the chat, new faces, new friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, I want to encourage you to just take a second right now and just hit the subscribe button and join Paragliding Talk and some of the adventure. And then also you'll see some videos of mine that aren't necessarily linked to a podcast, but I encourage you to do that. I'm trying to get to that 4,000 subscriber mark, and I'm really close. And I know that doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of YouTube, but we're almost there. And if you guys would hit the subscribe button, I know there's tons of people that are not subscribed, oddly enough, that still come and watch every episode. So if you do that, that'd be awesome. Want to just mention a brand new sponsor. This sponsor is actually someone that's going to be coming on the show soon. But the website is paragliderinspection.com. And it's Andrew Fuller. Andrew Fuller is he took a class, spent the last year learning how to do everything from line tension testing to checking the porosity to trim and inspecting gliders to repacking and reserves and all many other things. He's a man of many talents. Also with his SIV clinic that he does, you'll be impressed. But ultimately, if you tear up a glider, you can send it now to him. Go check out his website, paragliderinspection.com. So before we segue, maybe why don't we spin the wheel early, Sean, and catch the latecomers off guard a little bit. And tonight we're going to give away a paraglidingtalk.com t-shirt. They're black with white letters, kind of like the hat. And let's give something away, should we? I think you're muted, Sean.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Ready?
Yeah, let it rip. Want to
All right.
mention Nebraska PPG, Josh Bowden. He runs a school in Nebraska. And if you're interested in get some top-notch training, you can sign up with him and his team today. There's a link in the description if you want to get a hold of him. And also, the spin of the wheel is brought to you by Calamity Kite Clinic. If you want to learn how to ground handle better and take your paragliding skills to the next level, that's how you're going to do it. As learning on the ground is probably the best way to really get become one with your glider. And so you can go to calamitykiteclinic.com and sign up with them, whether it be at a fly-in or maybe at you're going to see him at his own field. Come on. Oh, it's close. I think I won this one. Come on.
Oh,
Come on.
I think it's rigged this time.
Go. Go.
Oh,
Winner, chicken dinner. Yeah.
congratulations, Robert Michaels.
Think about how much you're going to save on shipping.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's great. Especially with Walter Priori in the chat. You spin it again, Sean.
You want me to? Okay, I'm spinning it again. Here we go.
Yeah, I'll take the shirt and I'm going to wear it, but we'll give away another shirt just in case.
I left your name in there, by the way, Robert.
Yeah, hopefully if I win twice, then we'll definitely know this is rigged.
Yeah, no kidding.
Might as well mention one other sponsor. That's maxacro.com. Maxacro.com is where you're going to find your next SIV training clinic. He's got a whole, this is Max Marion, who is a world-class acro pilot, was a world record holder for infinite tumble. Just a really cool guy. I did an SIV with him. Hands down, incredible. And took a lot of stuff with me after that SIV. Go sign up at maxacro.com for an SIV today. You'll love it and you'll be glad that you did. Oh, Casper won like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to send him something different.
Congratulations, Casper.
Casper PPG. Congratulations, Casper. I'm gonna send you something nice, man. Just stay tuned. We've got you probably don't want another t-shirt. I'll send you a couple things. We'll have a great time. I got some. Oh, I do have some kind of bummer news. And I feel obligated to share this because I hyped it up. I'm not going to be able to go to the flying circus. Hot Butter Steve donated $10 to the super chat. He said, Robert, if you've ever chased by a mob of taxidermists, don't play dead. That's a good one. That is a good one. I write these down. These are professional dad jokes. This Hot Buttered Steve Productions is an expert in dad jokeology.
Ain't no joke like a good dad joke.
Yep, that's right. So let's segue into talking about your free flying. I know you just took a trip to Egypt. I want to talk about that, but let's talk about your free flying a bit. This is something I'm very passionate about.
Yeah, Egypt was back in the summertime, but in December I went to Colombia, down to Medellin, and paraglided for the first time, which was free flying was absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, I went up on a tandem and was weathered out the rest of the time we were there, and did not get a chance to do it by myself. But Ruben Montoya is the guy down in Colombia that's taught just about everyone how to free fly, and he's the guy that I went with on the tandem. I was down there with Chris Wheeler from My Dog Is Choking. And fantastic trip. We were free flying in the mountains above Medellin, and then paramotoring down on the beaches in Cartagena. So it was incredible.
We got a $10 super chat from Dave Mychak. He said, Ron, it's Dave Mychak, class
Dave.
number 2. Need to catch up. Great seeing you again.
Yeah, wow. How you doing, Dave?
Yeah, that's super
That's
cool.
awesome.
Thanks for that contribution, man. Appreciate you. Yes. So you got the itch or what?
Yeah, I do.
So tell me, how many hours do you have free flying now?
All of one.
One, that's it?
That's
Any
it.
any thermals?
Oh yeah, I went up with a tandem, hooked into a couple of thermals. In Medellin, you're launching from you're about 2,000 feet above the city, and the thermals there are just incredible. But as I said, it got weathered out the rest of the time we were there, and looking forward to my next trip. Maybe going back down there in a few weeks.
You were in San Diego just a little while ago, and some great free flying over here.
Yes, yes, there was. I had to, I had to drop my daughter and her dog off at San Diego State University and turn around and come back the next day, so could start our classes back in Texas. So unfortunately,
Robert would have loaned you a wing.
What's that?
Robert would have loaned you a wing for an hour.
Yep. I've got
a
couple.
Take a little detour. 10 minutes away.
You know, it's funny because there's a couple guys that will come in town and borrow. I have the loaner wing that everybody likes. It's the Delta 2, but I don't know if Ron with 1 hour is ready for the C class yet.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Maybe at Torrey it'd be fine. You can just go to Torrey. We just push you off the hill and would pay no attention to his P rating. Just
go.
He runs a school. He's fine.
Yeah. Now there's an awful lot to learn about free flying, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about your Egypt trip. Was there some logistics, anything that you learned that you can share with other people that are trying to take those kind of adventures?
Yeah, first of all, we went with we booked a travel through Sky One, which is the tour company over there, and they're fantastic. They've got permission for twice a year to fly for 5 days around the pyramids. So,
gosh, what a trip!
It was, and an incredibly cheap trip too. We had to pay our way to get there, but for the 5 days. 5 days in a 5-star hotel was $1,500, and that included everything, food, and included interpreters, it included museums and everything else. So it was great. The weather there was there's me and Roy Kiger. It was kind of nutty there. The city is about 10 million people, and it's down below the Giza Plateau. So the wind whips up through the city, then up across the desert, and then through the pyramids. So when you get near the pyramids, it's some wild wind. So one of the things that I learned is always bring your wing with you on the airplane.
Oh, really? Like a carry-on?
Yeah, mine. Unfortunately, I put mine in the luggage, and it got stopped at Heathrow for the week. So when I got there, the wing that I had was not the wing that I wanted to fly. So that's one of the things that I learned. Also, I assumed that motors would have reserves on them. Apparently, they don't. So if you're going on a trip, para adventuring, bring your wing, bring it on the plane with you. Leads to some interesting conversations at the gate. You know, what's that in there, and what do you know that I don't know, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I never thought about that.
But it was a fantastic trip. Really surreal flying around the pyramids. I've been fascinated with them since I was a kid, and just looking down from 50 feet, just on top of him, it was surreal. I had to pinch myself.
That almost looked like a good day to free fly. I saw some clouds pop in there.
Yeah, usually they don't
Bet you there
have
was-
clouds there. And the last day we were there, they had great cloud cover, and a couple of the pilots got up above the clouds. Although you're
Wow.
supposed to go, I think 600 feet was our ceiling. But
Okay.
yeah,
That's
people-
pretty cool.
yeah.
Looks like
Yeah, there's the crew. There's Chris Page, there's Jonathan Carr, and a bunch of others as well.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so flying in obviously to Cairo Airport with a bunch of gear for flying paramotors in an area where you probably have to have some exclusive permissions. I'm sure that was complicated. Let's maybe talk about that. I want to mention Will Fly donated $5 to the super chat. He said Resurgence PPG rocks, and then Hot Buttered Steve said Resurgence PPG rocks my socks off with $10 super chat. Thank you, Hot Buttered Steve and Will Fly. How did you guys work that out?
Yeah, they actually had all of the gear for us there if we wanted to use it. The $1,500 included the hotel, it included the food, transportation, and the equipment as well. One of the guys, Chris Page, brought his own motor with him. He broke it down into 2 suitcases and just checked it on the plane. And
No kidding.
yeah, he had a nice, reliable motor to fly while he was over there as well. So he ended up selling it instead of bringing it back to the States. So next time, I think that's what we're going to do.
Just bring one that you're going to sell while you're there.
Bring a motor,
Huh.
break it down into a couple of suitcases, send it through luggage. It did take us a while to get out of the Cairo airport, going through our luggage, and they had real questions about what the heck that was. But,
Yeah. And then you don't necessarily have your interpreter there with you, so you got to that too.
Actually we did. They that's the cool thing about Sky One. They met us when we got off the plane. The interpreter was there, got us through money exchange and everything else. There was an interpreter with us and security guards wherever we went.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you guys didn't have any issues?
No, none at all.
Wow.
Yeah, the security was, I think, more to keep the locals away from us, the tourists. But yeah, they accompanied us everywhere. So
Wow. Just a quick blurb. What about the food? How was it?
food was great.
And what was your go-to? I mean, it's all different, right?
It
Kebabs
is.
and
Yeah, it is. Lots of meat, but no, lots of chicken, lots of veggies. It's all good. And
nice.
things were fairly inexpensive as well.
Are you picky about what you eat?
No,
So you'll eat anything. So for the picky people, it's a little not sure if they're going to survive that. They're going to need to sneak some food in.
I don't know. They've got McDonald's everywhere now.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
what's
the trip to Egypt was just great. There's a couple of different places that they fly there. One in Luxor, one around the pyramids in Giza, and went with a couple of guys from the Kitty Hawk Airport, Dustin Newcomb and Roy Kiger, and one of Roy's friends, and Chris Page. It was just great. They hooked us up with a few guys, 2 guys and a girl from different countries, and they flew with us for the days that we were there.
that is great, man.
Yeah.
What was your biggest takeaway from that trip?
I guess it had been years since I really was out of the country. And really thankful for the things we take for granted here. Easy to get everything here, easy to go places here, not so much over there. And parts of Cairo look like a third world country because of the war they had there. So yeah, it was eye-opening. Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, you don't know what you have and until it's gone, or you can't appreciate it until you go into something like that. That's really good. It's a really good answer for that. Let's maybe segue this last portion of the show and maybe talk about some of the things that made you I guess what made you decide I'm going to develop a school where I can teach people how to fly? What was the main driving factor? And it's obvious you're passionate about teaching. I know that's going to be one of the parts of the answer, but what else is there that made you do what you're doing?
Yeah, so I got into this about 10 years ago, and I turned 50 and I got divorced, didn't have a wife telling me I couldn't fly. So that's how I got into the sport. But I'd been teaching for 20 some odd years and was looking to retire from teaching. I've loved aviation since I was a kid, and feel like maybe I was born to be a teacher as well. But one of the lessons that I try to teach the students is to find something you're passionate about and follow it. And so maybe I'm a slow learner. It took me 25 years to get out of second grade. But I left with the intent of starting a school and teaching people to fly, because it's incredibly awesome.
And when you started the school, how much airtime did you have with paramotoring?
Yeah, so like I said, I've been flying for about 10 years. I had less than stellar instruction when I started, and kind of figured it out on my own, as well as going to other instructors to see what they were doing. But I was approached by Aviator PPG at the time. They wanted to open up a number of alliance schools, basically to teach what they called the aviator way at different schools around the U.S. At the same time, I was approached by Black Hawk to open a school for them in Texas as well. So, I met with Aviator, met with Black Hawk, and decided to open an Aviator Alliance school. So that's how Lone Star Paramotor got off the ground. And the old Alliance program, folks who didn't want to wait a year or more to go down to Aviator, to go down to Florida, could come to Texas and go through the same type of training there. So that's the way Lone Star started.
I don't know who's handling your chat right now. Somebody's managing your Lone Star Paramotor chat, but they mentioned something that I wanted to ask you about.
That'd be Rain Vella.
Oh, it's Rain. Hey, what's up, Rain?
Yeah.
She just popped in about the this simulator.
Yeah.
How did that come to pass?
Yeah, so they've had a paramotor simulator for years now. I think I saw it for the first time in 2015 down at Beach Blast. And they've brought it to Oshkosh. They've brought it, it was most recently at Endless Foot Drag. One of the bad apples, Rob Cato, is the guy who developed it. And I've been following it for years, and finally found out there was another one knocking around out there, and bought it and had Rob reprogram it so that our airfield is on there. So all of the students fly on the virtual reality simulator in that environment before they actually get up into the air.
That's awesome.
It's a
It
great
is.
simulator, and the graphics are pretty sweet too. I mean, I tested it out, and I mean, it made me feel a little woozy because I didn't feel the G's that you would when,
Yeah.
that made you a little off. But I think I'd be all right now, but yeah,
Yeah, it is.
awesome.
It is realistic, and nice that we have our airfield there for people to practice on. We found that when students take their first flights, they're a lot calmer, a lot more relaxed. They're used to seeing things from the air, sights on the ground, things like that. So it's worked out really well. It's also a great device for training on rainy days, things like that.
Oh yeah, or windy days.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
What's your flyable average for the year? How many days?
Oh God, I don't even know. Not enough.
Not enough. Yeah.
Never enough.
How many days would you argue you don't get to fly in at Lone
No,
Star?
we train year round here and
You
fly.
do? Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right now it's 30 something degrees down here. We had a rain and ice storm the past couple of days, but a few days ago it was 75 or 80 degrees and we were out flying. So yeah, we fly year round.
That is great. And most of the time you've got a little bit of a base wind to help with the
Yeah,
launching.
it's weird. We a lot of times there's no wind at all.
Okay.
And yeah, and one of the things we do is we do some confidence builder classes, and we retrain other students, some of which who have been trained solely at the beach, flying and kiting and launching in high wind conditions. And then they come inland where they live and really can't get off the ground. So we've got a mix of wind, but mostly it's low wind.
Okay, so the poll is finished. We got 50 votes. Well, what is the most dangerous trike, quad, or foot launch? And
Wow.
trike 36%, foot launch 34%, quad 30%. So they're arguing that it's pretty even. They're arguing that the quad is the safest of the three. Very interesting poll. Very interesting. Thank you for your votes. Oh, yeah, there was another vote for trike being most dangerous, 37% now. Yeah, very interesting. I never realized that poll feature was there. I don't know what guest I had on. I stumbled on that and I said, oh, that's fascinating. So we've been just kind of playing with that along the way. So maybe share a little bit about your interaction with your instructing crew. Are there things that you're doing that the students aren't seeing, and maybe talk about some of the direction that you give to your instructors, that maybe another golden nuggets for guys, because we have quite a few that are instructors that are in the chat.
Yeah, so we teach a full class of 6 students. So we teach 6 at a time. And one of the things that I teach our instructors and the ones who are coming to earn their instructor certification is, it looks like we've got one class of 6. We actually have 6 classes going on at the same time, and there's one student in each class.
And when you talk about a class, these are typically people who they're excellent already at flying. They're already great at foot launching, and they've maybe already been doing instruction, although they shouldn't probably be doing it yet. What are you finding most common that you'd say, I wish we could do better in that arena?
Well, I don't know. I think maybe it's an eye-opener to a lot of the students, a lot of the instructors who come through training, how much they have to deal with the students' emotions and the psychology of it all, right? As I said, we have a class of 6 students. We have 6 classes, there's one student in each class, and you've got to find out where that person is for their skills, for their knowledge, but also their head game. You know, where's their head? So we teach skills, we teach knowledge, but a lot of this is really a mind game, is getting through that frustration to get to fly at the end. So, yeah, I think maybe one of the nuggets to the instructors coming through is that find out the best way that each student learns. Some of them will come right out and tell you, you know, I'm a kinesthetic learner, just put my hands where they need to be, and that's it, right? And others say, you know, I'm a visual learner, I need you to demonstrate it for me. But as an instructor, as a teacher, you have to find out how best to teach each of your students. And so that's our job. You know, we have a big meet and greet on day one. We're going around the room and all of the new students are introducing themselves, and the instructors are too. That's the time when we're trying to evaluate who these people are, how best to motivate them, and help them along with the challenges we know that they're going to face.
Anybody come through your school wanting to get the instructor certification that you just said, I'm not the guy to do it for you, you're going to need to go get it somewhere else?
Not so far.
That's good.
There are plenty of students who I've had to have that difficult conversation with. Pilots, you know, this sport isn't for you. Your reaction time isn't quick enough, and you're going to end up hurting yourself. But no instructors so far that I've had to discourage or ask them to take up basket weaving or something.
Yeah, you're not the guy for instruction. I wish that there's a few out there that I would argue should have got denied.
Yeah. And I'm not going to argue with you there.
Yeah. So I like the idea of getting my tandem certification. This is just on a personal level. Is there anything that I can be doing now in preparation of coming to a Lone Star to get my tandem certification for, say, foot launch or even trike launching?
Yeah, at the moment, we're not doing foot launch tandems. We're doing trike tandems. So one of the things you can do is learn how to fly a trike.
Right.
And taxi a trike.
Yeah.
That's probably the number one thing to prepare for.
Is there a reason why you don't teach foot launch tandem?
No. Well, I've seen a lot of them go bad. I've seen a lot of folks up front who just go down on their knees, and pilot behind can't stop in time and either ends up hurting the person or breaking equipment or both. And I just don't think there's a large enough margin of error for someone who's never been up in the air before to run into the sky. So,
right.
Yeah.
Has there been a situation? I mean, you obviously take people on tandems. Do you?
Oh yeah.
You do it with a foot launch?
No, we've got a couple of different tandem trikes that we use, and we've got 4 of our instructors are tandem certified.
Okay.
But we give tandem rides, discovery flights, instructional flights. We also give tandem rides to all of our students. And for the trike students, we do a lot of the teaching from the back seat, as you would, you know, in general aviation with a co-pilot there.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah,
I like that idea of taking a flight with with a tandem before you fly. I didn't do that, obviously, but I like that idea. I think that would have been an interesting approach.
Oh yeah,
learn a little safer, I think, because you can kind of sort through the most important things first.
Yep.
We got just a couple more minutes. If you have questions in the chat, Hot Buttered Steve asked a question here.
Don't ask that one.
Matt Sloper, he asked, could you fly all day in Egypt? So was it I mean, it seems like almost like the Salton Sea type of situation.
Yeah, you would think so, but no. First of all, the sun came up super early, like 4 o'clock in the morning. And by the time we get there at 5, it's already about 10 miles an hour, the wind. So midday, the wind was whipping 15, 20 miles an hour, gusting more than that. So, and, after the morning flying session, that's when the dust devils start roaming across the desert. Right. So no, it's not like a inland sea where you can fly all day, unfortunately.
Wow. Well, you were going to ask something, Gringo?
No, I'll wait after this one. Scott Julius asked Ron, what was the quality of the machinery there that you flew while you were there? And then you said there was also that tour guide also had rentals, huh?
Yeah, so the rentals was part of the tour package. So for the $1,500, it was the hotel, the interpreters, the security, the equipment, all of that.
Awesome.
How was the equipment? I would have liked to have seen newer equipment. The equipment didn't have reserve parachutes, which I'm used to flying with. And yeah,
a nice added feature.
Yeah.
it is when there's a lot of rotor between the pyramids and the wind is whipping you around.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, but so the equipment I wish was a little bit better. One of the guys was flying a trike, and unfortunately they didn't have adequate netting behind the pilot's head, and that's where his helmet ended up through the propeller.
No.
So yeah, so the next day we added some netting to his unit that we borrowed from them.
You mean the helmet was still on his head, of course?
No,
Oh.
came his helmet, unfortunately, his bags were also held up at Heathrow. Unfortunately, his helmet was in there, so they gave him a helmet that was too large. It came off and went through the gap, and down he went in the sand.
Oh,
yeah, but that's all right.
But he didn't get hurt?
No. Dustin's a real pro. He landed nicely, and all is well.
Oh my gosh.
So with that package, how many days of flying is that?
So it was 3 days of flying and 5 days there.
What a great deal.
That's pretty cool.
It really
man.
was. Really was.
David Mychak donated $2 to the super chat, and he said we really need a USA West meetup. I think we call that the Salton Sea fly-in.
That's right, which is still on, and Tori Pope was asking about that. So it looks like it's still back to the original spot. It has shrunk because of the hay bales and all that, but yeah. I want to, somebody else was asking a question where you're located. I'm going to share the screen here. You're in Texas, obviously here.
Yeah, we're just north of San Antonio in Garden Ridge.
Right. So how far, do you ever do any training at the beach at Corpus Christi?
So Dell is often at Corpus Christi, and we don't need to go down to train. We just wait for his students to come to us to be retrained.
Shots fired.
What's that? Well, yeah, as much as I don't appreciate, and I don't think he follows some best practices in teaching, he is helping to put my daughters through college.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of him.
Yeah.
That's very kind. Well, we're going to go to the after show. Ron, what an incredible guest. Thank you so much for taking the time to come be on the show. Want to just say thanks about that. Also, thank you guys for moderating, Anthony and Sean, and all the people with a tool next to their name. You guys always bring something to the show. We're going to go to the after show. You're welcome to join us. There's a link in the description, and so you are in the chat so that you can pop on over. It's through Zoom, and maybe you have a couple quick questions for Ron. We're not going to hold him hostage for long, but if you want to jump on for just a minute, you're welcome to do that. I want to mention one last sponsor, which is Resurgence PPG. This show is sponsored by Resurgence PPG. And so if you're interested in supporting our men and women of uniform, you can make a tax-deductible donation to resurgenceppg.com. And so by donating, you're sponsoring those who put their lives on the line for your freedom. You can reach out to Todd Scandrett at resurgenceppg.com. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night. If I don't see you on the air, I'll see you in the air. We'll see you on the next.